Let's see where we at. Is this the? No, that's not it. Where's my image at? Here we go. This is what I want. Now let me keep this down here. Yeah. So here's my opinion. I think it was a good straightforward showcase. They didn't bullshit around and like trying to do a bunch of extra stuff, which is one of the things that I'm glad they, if they were going to do E3, that was one of the things that made people worry about E3. They did too much pussyfooting around instead of getting straight to the point. So that's the reason why you're starting to see like a lot of these companies branch off and do their own showcases. That's why E3 not a thing no more. But it's good to see that Bandai Namco is, first off, they're doing things for the Pac-Man 45th anniversary. Of course, they got Shadow Labyrinth, a game I'm looking forward to. A different take on Pac-Man. Um, it gives it like an RPG element, which is always welcome in any video game collection I have. Um, and the combat and everything, it's simple, but it looked like it's going to be fun. So that's one of the games I'm looking forward to. Super Robot Tyson uh, Upsilon. Well, why? I know a lot of people don't know the Greek alphabet, and I don't even think they used it, but I think it's Super Robot Tyson Upsilon. Uh, that game is a personal favorite of mine. I've been playing those since the PS2, so like that's been my, what I'm saying, that game is like one of my guilty pleasures. Like I love playing that franchise. I love the RPG element to it. I love the robots, because I watch, old animes, classic animes. I know my history on how far back that goes and how, saying those robots affected things that I watch today, like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider and things like that. So I love seeing robots from like the late 70s and the 80s being in video games. I love seeing them have that representation. So I hope they do some DLC and they add like Super Sentai and maybe even some of the Kamen Rider, mechs in there in the future. I would love to see that, even though it's probably far fetched, but I would love to see it. So that's again, that's one of the guilty pleasures of mine. I love Super Robot Tyson. I look forward to playing that one. Code Vein, that's coming out next year. I mean, I can't, or at least I think they said next year, 2026. It's something to look forward to. My only worry with that game is I want them to continue showing like they did in Code Vein that connection, even though it was like a small reveal during the game. If you played it, it was a connection between that and the in another game called God Eater. It was a monster that showed up in Code Vein that was actually one of the boss monsters from God Eater, and it connected those worlds, and it made it seem like the people who are living inside that blood dome in Code Vein are inside there, but the ones living on the outside are the ones from God Eater. So I'm like, they need to continue that or keep some type of reference that those worlds are connected. Uh My Heroes All's Justice. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no hope for that damn game. Anime arena fighters have a bad these companies have a bad habit of not knowing how to make anime arena fighters good. I've said this going back to like 2017. Anime arena fighters, they stopped being good at Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. And every anime arena fighter after that has been trying to play catch up, and they still haven't done it. They haven't found that formula that made people connect with Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, that made that a success. That game is so successful, they still do side tournaments for that. Like that game is like I don't know how many years old, but they still do side tournaments for Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. I think no Ultimate Ninja Storm what 4 or like Ultimate Ninja Storm Boruto. I think that's the latest one. But they still do side tournaments for it. Like it still has a cult following. So that anime arena fighter did it. But everyone that came after that, from the One Punch Man to Kill la Kill to Agami Ka Kill, I think it was Kill la Kill. You know, the original My Heroes One Justice 1 and 2 are Yeah, My Heroes One is Justice One and Two. Jump Force, which died so fast, shockingly. Even as recent as Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, that didn't even hit the way it is. People still play it, but it didn't hit the way it was supposed to because people understand when these companies are just doing quick cash grabs. They're hoping that they do good with the anime arena fighters, but they keep failing. And then they announce. Then of course you had the Demon Slayer game, which was the roster and the gameplay of that shit was just disappointing. And then they announced part two of that like some time ago. I hope they do right by the roster at least. Um, but yeah, let me not get too far off. What was the name of that rhythm game? Patapon. Patapon. This game, like again, I'm not a rhythm game type of person, but this excites me. I mean, of course, they put part one and two in a bundle, but this actually excites me because I personally haven't played this before, and rhythm games is not a game that I really play like that. I think the last rhythm game I probably took seriously was like Parappa the Rapper, like on the original PlayStation. But this one is definitely one that I'm looking forward to because I'm definitely going to try this because it just looks interesting to me. Um, what was the name of this game? Tower and the Guardians. I think this is coming out in September. I think the release date is in September, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can find it. Matter of fact, let me just look it up. Tower and the Guardians. September 18th. Okay, so it is coming out in September. Um, I think there was supposed to be like a demo or something. They'll probably have a demo for it in like, and maybe in like August, if that. But this game looks fun to me though. I'm not gonna lie. This Death Note game, it's out right now, but they made it in a kind of like an Among Us lockdown protocol style, which fits it, which fits the theme of it. You know, a detective style game. You got to figure out who's who. You know what I'm saying? Kind of playing on that guess who board game type of feel. Um, this definitely got my attention. I don't see myself playing it like that, but this is going to be a very stream game. It's going to be one of those stream happy games that I call them. Like I call those type of games stream happy, like or like stream friendly. People who don't really play video games like that, but they just want to play something like simple and it's like it's almost like an unexpectedness to the game. That's their type of game right there. I think I already spoke on Shadow Labyrinth. Um, Hot Shot Golf, pretty simple. That's somebody can look forward to playing. I think I spoke on that. Dawn Walker, of course, that's coming out next year. I can't really speak on that. Fakum Ram, again, wish they would have somehow uh, made him default roster instead of charging us money for him, but that's whatever. I don't really use the character any damn way. Uh, Dragon Ball Kakarot Daima. I'm looking forward to this. I am so happy that they made this a standalone DLC because again, I hated the fact that when Dragon Ball Kakarot came out, it started the game all the way over. Like we're already in Dragon Ball Super. We do not want to play all the way back from the Saiyan saga all over again. Even people who don't watch anime know what happened during the Saiyan saga. Raditz came, beat up Piccolo, beat up Goku, kidnapped Gohan. They went teamed up. You know, Goku died, etc., etc. The whole 9 yards. Went on Snake Way. Went to King Kai. That whole spill. What I'm saying, got brought back to life. Went to Namek, saved their asses, fought Frieza. You know what I'm saying? That whole story, it's old. It's old. And we've been playing through that same story for so damn long that when the anime comes out with a new arc, we want to play through that arc. We don't want to start all the way over from the fucking 90s in the early 2000s. Like we don't want to start all the way over from then. Like give us recent. Don't give us old bullshit and try to repackage it. So I'm glad they made this standalone because I'm not playing Dragon Ball Kakarot. I'm not playing that game. So the fact that I can play this without having to go through that default game or the original game is a plus for me, and I will be playing Dragon Ball Daima. And I think this comes out when this comes out. When the hell they announced this? July 17th. This comes out one day before Shadow Labyrinth, so that's gonna be something to look forward to. So, um, will I ever play Death Stranding 2? I never played the first one. I never played the first one. I would be so lost playing Death Stranding. And plus, I had already seen people do the playthrough, so I'm kind of like bored with it. Like, like once I see the playthrough of a game already, I'm kind of like out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like no longer interested in it. Not saying that I won't play it in the future. I'm just saying as of right now, it's other games that interest me more than Death Stranding. You know, and considering I've watched it already, I kind of there's like little interest for me to play it myself. You know what I'm saying? But if the demand is high enough, obviously I'll play it. Uh, but yeah, this was a cool, straightforward, not too many games, but the ones that we needed to see, we saw. And so, um, again, that was my opinions and my final thoughts on the Bandai Namco Summer Showcase. Hopefully, you guys are excited for some of the games as I am, and hopefully, the ones that I'm worried about they don't disappoint in the future. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Peace, and I will see you guys later.